The sky over Earth was calm, but space above it was not. A fleet of alien ships, massive and shining like blades of steel, floated in silence. They were not here for peace. Their commanders had sent one message across every human channel: kneel or be destroyed. People across the planet froze when the words came. News anchors whispered in disbelief, children cried, and leaders stared at the sky with pale faces. No one had seen such ships before. They stretched longer than cities, armed with weapons that glowed with strange blue fire. They had crossed the void of space only for one purpose: submission. In a small underground base, far from the crowded cities, a group of human officers listened to the broadcast again. The voice of the alien leader echoed coldly through the room. It was smooth, like polished stone, but heavy with arrogance. Your world is weak. Your armies are nothing. Kneel before us, and we will spare you. Resist, and your planet will burn. Colonel Marcus leaned forward on the table. His face was lined with years of war, but his eyes burned bright. They think we will kneel, he muttered. They think humanity will bend because their ships are bigger. They don't know us. Beside him, young officer Elena shifted uncomfortably. But Colonel, they have fleets that can destroy cities from orbit. Our defenses, our satellites, none of it can stand against them. If they fire, billions will die in minutes. Marcus stayed silent. He knew she was right. Earth's defenses were nothing compared to what hung in the sky. But he also knew something the aliens did not. Humanity had secrets, projects buried in hidden facilities, technologies never revealed, weapons designed not for show, but for survival. The first day passed with fear. Across the world, governments debated. Should they kneel? Should they buy time with words, or stand proud and risk extinction? The alien fleet waited, orbiting silently, as if enjoying the fear they spread. On the second day, the aliens sent proof of their power. A single ship aimed its weapon at the moon. With one pulse of blue fire, the barren surface cracked and shook. Dust storms rose high into space, visible even from Earth. The world trembled at the sight. Your moon is nothing, the alien voice announced. Next will be your cities. Panic spread like fire. Some leaders wanted to surrender. Others shouted for war. Protests filled the streets. Billions of humans argued, while above them the invaders waited for an answer. In the underground base, Marcus gathered his officers again. His voice was calm, but hard as stone. They chose the wrong species to threaten. They think we will kneel. But we will show them what happens when you corner humanity. Elena looked at him with wide eyes. Are you saying, we fight? Marcus leaned closer, lowering his voice. Yes. But not with the weapons they see. Not with tanks, or planes, or old satellites. We will fight with what we have hidden. What they cannot predict. The room fell silent. Everyone knew what he meant. Decades of secret projects, developed in fear of an alien encounter, buried in shadows and whispered about in classified files. Projects meant to make humanity's enemies regret ever coming close. But before the officers could reply, an alarm rang through the base. A message flashed on the screens. The alien fleet had moved. Not toward Earth's governments. Not toward its armies. But toward a small colony on Mars. The room went cold. The colony was small, barely 100 scientists and engineers, but it was Earth's first step into space. It was humanity's pride. And now it was the first target. They want to make an example, Elena whispered. Marcus clenched his fists. Then we will give them one instead. High above Mars, the alien ships drifted closer, ready to burn the colony. But deep below, hidden inside the red planet's soil, systems began to wake. Machines built by human hands, designed for a day like this, powered on for the first time. The aliens did not know what waited for them beneath the ground. They thought humans were weak. They thought Earth would kneel. But they were about to learn a truth carved into humanity's history. When cornered, humanity does not kneel. Humanity fights. And sometimes, it fights with fire no enemy has ever seen. The screen in Marcus's command room flickered with new images. Hidden weapons rising from Martian soil. Signals locking onto alien ships. The officers stared, breath held. And then, the first shot was fired. The first human shot in space tore across the black sky like a streak of lightning. It came not from a ship, but from the Martian ground itself. The hidden launch bays opened, and weapons that had never been revealed to the public came alive. They were sharp, deadly, and silent until the moment they struck. One of the alien cruisers shuddered when the blast hit. Sparks flew across its metal skin, and its blue glow flickered. For the first time since they arrived, the alien fleet did not look untouchable. Inside their command vessel, alien voices barked in surprise. Unexpected resistance. Primitive world should not have such power. Their language was strange, like broken glass scraping together, but their tone was clear, anger and confusion. On Mars, alarms rang through the human colony. The scientists and engineers hiding underground felt the shock of the first battle. Many of them had no idea such weapons were built beneath their feet. Their faces were pale, but their hearts filled with a dangerous hope. In the underground base on Earth, Colonel Marcus and his team watched the feed. His jaw tightened as he saw the alien ship reel backward. "Good," he whispered. "Now they know." But the battle was only beginning. The alien fleet responded with ruthless speed. Dozens of their ships turned, charging weapons. Blue fire lit the void, streaking toward the red planet. The Martian defenses roared back. From beneath the surface, more weapons rose, rail cannons that could pierce steel, missile pods disguised as mining shafts, drones that spread like swarms of metal insects. Humanity had built Mars not only as a colony, but as a trap. The sky above Mars became chaos. Explosions lit the darkness. Alien ships darted in formation, their sleek hulls glowing like blades. Human drones scattered, striking fast, then vanishing into the planet's shadows. Each side tested the other, each strike louder than the last. From his command post, Marcus gripped the table. "Don't fight them head-on. Make them bleed. Make them think we are weaker than we are, until it's too late." The alien commander sneered from his throne of black metal. "Humans resist like insects. They strike, but they cannot win. Crush them. Show them the power of the fleet." And so the alien ships unleashed their fury. Beams of blue fire rained down. The Martian surface cracked and burned. One colony dome shattered, releasing air into the void. People screamed as alarms blared. But hidden bunkers saved many. And as the dust rose, the second wave of human weapons activated. This time, they were not only defensive. A shadow rose from beneath Mars, breaking through the surface. It was not a ship known to the public. It was larger, darker, designed for one purpose: to kill fleets. The Ares dreadnought, humanity's most secret creation, powered on. Its hull was jagged, its weapons silent but terrible. For years it had been built under false reports, hidden in the Martian soil. When its engines roared, the alien fleet finally hesitated. From Earth, billions watched the live feed leak onto public networks. For days, they had felt only fear. But now they saw something different. They saw an alien cruiser burning. They saw the Ares rising like a monster from the red dust. And for the first time, humanity did not look weak. Humanity looked dangerous. The first strike from Ares was brutal. A beam of compressed plasma ripped through the nearest alien ship. The vessel split apart, its glowing core spilling fire into space. The fleet reeled in shock. "Impossible," the alien commander hissed. "This world should not hold such weapons." But humans did. And they were only beginning. The battle stretched for hours. Mars shook with fire. Human weapons were not endless, and the alien fleet was still vast. Every time an alien ship burned, another turned its guns on the colony. But for every loss, humanity struck back harder. In the underground base, Elena looked at Marcus. We can't hold forever. The Ares is strong, but they have too many ships. If they break through. Marcus nodded grimly. I know. That's why we don't just fight here. We fight everywhere. He turned to the comm officer. Send the signal. Activate the sleeper cells. Earth's people must rise. This is not just Mars's battle. This is humanity's war. The officer hesitated. Once we do that, there's no going back. The aliens will never forgive. They will hunt us to extinction. Marcus's voice was steel. Then let them try. Far above, the alien fleet began to regroup, ready for a second crushing wave. But as they prepared, new signals lit up across the solar system. From secret stations orbiting Jupiter. From hidden platforms on asteroids. From Earth itself. The aliens had demanded humanity kneel. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. And the giant was rising. The world had never been so silent, and yet so loud. Every screen on Earth showed the same images, alien ships burning above Mars, explosions lighting the black sky, and humanity's hidden dreadnought rising from the dust. People filled the streets, shouting, crying, cheering, and trembling all at once. In the city of New York, crowds gathered in Times Square. Some raised their fists and shouted, "Fight back!" Others begged for peace, fearing that resistance would bring death to billions. Arguments broke into clashes, anger spreading like wildfire. In Beijing, Paris, and Sao Paulo, it was the same. Some cheered the victory on Mars, calling it proof that humanity could stand. Others screamed at the governments, demanding surrender before the aliens returned with more power. The world was divided, but one truth could not be ignored: humanity was no longer on its knees. Inside the United Earth Council chamber, leaders from every nation argued loudly. The room was filled with fear and pride in equal measure. "They destroyed one of their ships," shouted the representative from India. "We can fight them. We must fight them. And doom us all," replied a European delegate, his voice shaking. "You saw their fleet. You saw what they did to the moon. Mars will be crushed. Earth will be next." The council fell into chaos. Some leaders wanted full war. Others wanted surrender. A few suggested stalling, sending false promises to the aliens while secretly building more defenses. Then the room went quiet. All eyes turned to the screen at the far end of the chamber. Colonel Marcus appeared, his face stern and his uniform dusty from the underground base. "Leaders of Earth," he said, his voice carrying iron. "You argue while our people bleed. Listen carefully. The aliens have made one mistake. They think fear will control us. But fear has only woken something stronger." He paused, letting the silence press on them. "Mars was only the beginning. We have weapons they do not expect. We have soldiers ready to fight. But we need unity. If you surrender, we lose everything. If you fight alone, you will fall. But if humanity fights as one, then we have a chance, not just to survive, but to win." The chamber erupted again. Some leaders nodded, others shook their heads. But Marcus's words spread beyond the council. His speech leaked into the networks, reaching homes, schools, and streets. Billions heard him. In Cairo, a teacher told her students, "Do you hear? We are not weak. We will not kneel." In Buenos Aires, workers in a factory began building armored plates, shouting, "For Earth." In Nairobi, soldiers painted new banners, preparing to march. But not everyone was convinced. Across the globe, voices whispered of surrender. Some groups formed movements, waving white flags painted with alien symbols, begging for peace. Fights broke out between them and those who wanted war. The world shook with division. Meanwhile, in orbit, the alien fleet pulled back from Mars. Their commander sat in silence, his clawed hands digging into his throne. "These humans, they are more dangerous than expected." His advisors hissed warnings, urging a full strike on Earth. But the commander was patient. "No," he said coldly. We will not destroy them quickly. We will break them slowly. We will show their people that resistance is hopeless. And so, the aliens changed their strategy. Instead of attacking with all their force, they began small strikes. One ship descended toward Earth's orbit, targeting satellites. Communications flickered. Networks went dark in whole regions. Another ship targeted shipping lanes in the oceans, striking vessels and cutting supplies. The aliens wanted to choke Earth, to starve it into surrender. On Earth, panic spread again. Prices for food and fuel soared. Protests grew louder. Some whispered that the aliens were right, that kneeling was the only way to survive. In the underground base, Elena slammed her hand on the table. They're trying to divide us. They know they can't crush our spirit with one strike, so they're spreading fear like poison. Marcus nodded grimly. And fear is more dangerous than any weapon. But then, a new signal arrived. Hidden bases on asteroids and moons across the solar system reported in. Sleeper cells, activated by Marcus's command, sent their first transmissions. They were ready to fight. One message stood out. From the icy surface of Europa, a coded signal flashed. Project Titan is online. Elena read the words, her breath catching. Project Titan. I thought it was only a rumor. Marcus's eyes hardened. It's real. And if we can bring it to the battlefield, it will change everything. But time was running out. The alien fleet was not retreating. It was surrounding Earth slowly, tightening its grip like a predator circling prey. The people of Earth stood at a crossroads, between fear and fire, between kneeling and rising. And far away, in the cold depths of space, Project Titan waited to awaken. The alien fleet no longer hid its power. They spread across Earth's orbit like a black crown, their ships glowing with cold blue fire. They did not strike all at once. Instead, they cut piece by piece, making humanity bleed slowly. One ship destroyed Earth's satellites, shattering them into burning fragments that streaked across the night sky. For the first time in decades, whole nations were blind. No GPS, no global signals, no safe skies. Airplanes were grounded. Traders cursed as their markets froze. Ordinary people looked up and saw fire falling from space, and they knew it was not a meteor shower. Another alien vessel descended low into the atmosphere and fired on Earth's oceans. Great waves rose as oil platforms and cargo ships sank beneath the water. Food routes were broken, fuel lines severed. The aliens were not trying to win a battle. They were trying to choke the world. In the cities, panic grew. Supermarkets emptied. Fistfights broke out over water and bread. Streets filled with angry voices, some demanding war, others begging for surrender. Governments sent soldiers to keep order, but even soldiers felt the same fear as the rest of humanity. In a dark room beneath the United Earth Council, leaders shouted at each other. "We cannot hold against this pressure," one cried. "Our people starve while you play games of war." Others roared back, "If we kneel, we will be slaves forever. Better to die free than live chained." The council was tearing itself apart. And the alien commander knew it. From his throne aboard the flagship, the alien leader watched Earth's suffering through cold eyes. "They crumble," he hissed. "Soon they will beg us for mercy. When they kneel, it will not be because of our strength, but because of their weakness." But humanity was not as weak as he thought. In the underground base, Colonel Marcus stood over a glowing map of Earth. Red marks covered the oceans, the skies, the broken satellites. His officers looked grim, but his voice was steady. "This is not defeat. This is their trap, not ours. They want us to think we are helpless. But we are not." Elena leaned forward, her face pale but determined. "If we reveal Project Titan now." Marcus shook his head sharply. "Not yet. Titan is our last blade. We reveal it too soon, and they will adapt. We must hold until the moment is right." The room fell into silence. Everyone knew the risk. The longer they waited, the more humans would suffer. But if they played their final card too early, they might lose everything. As Earth struggled, resistance began to rise in unexpected places. In the ruins of a shattered port, dockworkers welded old ships into makeshift war machines. In abandoned factories, engineers hacked together drones from spare parts. Farmers strapped weapons to tractors, saying, "If the aliens land, we'll fight them here." Ordinary people were refusing to kneel. But the aliens struck harder. In South America, a city was reduced to ashes when an orbital strike lit the sky. Millions screamed as the firestorm spread. Across the world, the message was clear: resist and die. News of the massacre reached Marcus's base. Elena slammed her fists against the table. "We can't let this continue. Every day they kill more of us. Every day we bleed." Marcus's eyes narrowed. "And every day, they grow more confident. That is their mistake. Confidence blinds them. Soon, they will strike where they believe we are weakest. And there, we will show them Titan." For now, Titan remained hidden. But whispers spread among the officers. Some said it was a weapon larger than any dreadnought. Others believed it was not a weapon at all, but something alive. Only Marcus knew the truth, and he kept it locked behind his steel gaze. Meanwhile, the alien commander sent a final warning to Earth. His voice, cold and sharp, echoed across every surviving channel. "Humans, your suffering is only beginning. Kneel now, and we will end your pain. Resist, and we will make your world a grave." Billions heard his words. Some wept. Some prayed. But others clenched their fists and shouted into the night sky, "Never!" In the streets of London, graffiti glowed under dim lights, "We do not kneel." In Tokyo, children painted the same words on the walls of their shelters. Across the planet, the phrase spread like fire. The aliens thought fear would divide humanity. But slowly, painfully, it was uniting them. And deep beneath the frozen crust of Europa, Project Titan stirred. For days the alien fleet circled Earth like vultures. They cut off supplies, broke satellites, and burned cities. Yet humanity did not kneel. In the streets, even starving voices shouted the same words, "We do not kneel." The alien commander grew tired of waiting. His claws tapped against his throne as reports of resistance spread. "They cling to defiance like insects to fire," he hissed. "If fear is not enough, then pain will be. Land forces. Show them what true power means." And so the first alien warships broke through the skies. They descended in black clouds of smoke, their hulls glowing blue as they pierced the atmosphere. All across Earth, people looked up and saw the invaders falling like thunder. In Africa, engines roared as alien transports landed on dry plains, spewing armored soldiers with shining weapons. In Europe, war machines the size of buildings stepped out of burning ships, crushing roads beneath their feet. In Asia, squads of alien infantry stormed ruined cities, hunting survivors like prey. The invasion had begun. On Earth's front lines, human soldiers fired desperately. Tanks, jets, and missiles screamed through the air, striking alien armor. Some enemies fell, their black shells cracking under fire. But many more advanced, unstoppable, like a tide of steel. In Cairo, a commander shouted over broken radios, "We hold the line. Every street, every wall. Make them pay for every inch." In Moscow, soldiers detonated bridges to halt alien walkers. In Sao Paulo, civilians threw Molotovs at alien machines, vanishing into alleys before the return fire. Humanity fought with everything: guns, knives, stones, even bare fists. But still, the aliens pressed forward. In the underground base, Elena stared at the screens, her face pale. "They're tearing through us. Our armies can't hold forever." Colonel Marcus did not flinch. His eyes locked on the map, watching the alien forces spread like fire across the continents. "Then it is time," he said quietly. The room froze. Everyone knew what those words meant. Marcus looked at his officers. "Project Titan. Bring it online." Across the solar system, a signal pulsed through the void. It reached Europa, the frozen moon of Jupiter, where beneath miles of ice, something immense stirred. The ground trembled as a hidden hangar opened for the first time in human history. From the darkness rose a shape so vast it shook the cavern itself. A machine, but not only a machine. Its body was forged from alien metals stolen long ago, fused with human design. Its core burned with energy never seen before. Project Titan was awake. Back on Earth, alien commanders laughed as their troops pushed deeper into human cities. But their laughter stopped when the first shadow fell across the battlefield. The sky split open as Titan entered Earth's orbit. It was not a ship like others. It was colossal, stretching miles across, bristling with weapons that glowed red like a beating heart. Where the alien dreadnoughts had been sleek and cold, Titan was brutal, raw, alive with fury. On the ground, soldiers looked up, their mouths open in shock. Some cried. Some cheered. And for the first time since the invasion began, hope felt real. By God! Elena whispered from the command room. It's not a weapon. It's a fortress. Titan spoke, not with a voice, but with a roar of its engines. Beams of pure fire erupted from its sides, tearing through the alien fleet in orbit. 1, 2, 3 enemy ships shattered in seconds. The aliens had prepared for fear, but not for this. The alien commander stood from his throne, his voice sharp with fury. Impossible! This world should not, cannot, have such power. But it was real. Humanity had built Titan in secret for decades, hiding it beneath ice, waiting for the day it was needed. That day had come. On the battlefield below, alien walkers stopped as beams from Titan's cannons struck them, melting their armor in seconds. Human soldiers shouted with renewed strength, charging forward as their enemies faltered. In the skies, Titan's weapons tore open entire squadrons, scattering alien formations like broken glass. For the first time since the war began, the invaders were not advancing. They were retreating. But Marcus knew the battle was far from over. He watched the screens as Titan's fire cut through the alien ranks, his jaw tight. "This is our blade," he muttered. "But even blades can break if pushed too hard." Elena looked at him, her eyes wide. "Then what do we do?" Marcus's voice was cold, steady. "We hold. We fight. We show them what humanity truly is. Not slaves. Not prey. But predators." Across the world, as Titan lit the skies and alien ships fell burning through the atmosphere, one truth spread through every voice, every city, every soldier. Humanity does not kneel. The skies above Earth burned with wreckage. Alien ships fell like dying stars, their hulls split open by Titan's fury. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity looked up and saw their enemy bleed. Soldiers on the ground shouted until their throats cracked. Civilians wept with joy. The impossible had happened. Humans had struck back. But far across the void, in the cold darkness between stars, the message of defeat traveled fast. The alien empire had been challenged. And it would not remain silent. Inside the alien flagship above Earth, the commander stood rigid, his claws trembling with rage. His advisors hissed warnings. "We underestimated them. Titan is not of their world. It is something more. If word spreads through the empire—" "It already has," the commander snapped. His black eyes glowed with fury. "The council will not allow this insult. Reinforcements are on their way. When they arrive, this world will burn." He was right. Deep in space, fleets far larger than the one above Earth stirred. Armies that had crushed hundreds of worlds prepared to move. Earth had won its first battle, but the war was only beginning. On the ground, Colonel Marcus knew this truth. He stared at the reports flooding into his base. Titan had saved the cities. Titan had burned the alien fleet. But Titan could not be everywhere at once. Already, scouts reported alien warships regrouping beyond the moon. And worse, signals detected massive fleets preparing to enter the system. "We have little time," Marcus said. When their reinforcements arrive, Titan will face not dozens of ships, but thousands. Elena swallowed hard. Then, are we doomed? Marcus shook his head. No. Because for the first time, we are not only defending. We are ready to strike back. The order was given. Titan, still glowing with fire, shifted its massive engines. Slowly, the fortress ship rose higher, leaving Earth's orbit. Its shadow stretched across the planet as millions watched. It was more than a machine. It was a symbol. And that symbol was not staying on Earth. Where is it going? Asked Elena, her voice hushed as the giant ship vanished into the black. Marcus's eyes narrowed. To carry the war to them. Far beyond the moon, the alien fleet was regrouping. Damaged ships limped into formation, their hulls scarred from Titan's guns. They expected humans to hide on Earth, to cower behind their fortress. Instead, the blackness ahead lit with Titan's engines. The fortress ship came at them like a storm. Cannons roared, tearing open the nearest cruiser before its weapons could lock. Missiles streaked across the void, breaking formations. Human-built drones swarmed from Titan's bays, cutting into enemy defenses like knives. The aliens had never seen anything like it. These were not primitives with rifles and weak ships. These were warriors, striking with precision and fury. Inside Titan's command deck, human officers shouted orders, their eyes bright with determination. Every strike was broadcast back to Earth, and billions watched as their people, not their rulers, not their armies, but their species, rose together. The alien commander snarled from his throne. Fools! You think one machine can defeat the Empire? He slammed his claw onto the controls. Send word. Call them all. No mercy. No survivors. This world will serve as a warning to all others. Back on Earth, fear and hope clashed in every heart. News spread that alien reinforcements were coming, fleets larger than anything humans had ever faced. But the image of Titan striking back spread faster. In every city, voices chanted in unison, "We do not kneel." Factories reopened, building weapons day and night. Engineers worked without rest, sending new drones and fighters to Titan. Farmers donated fuel. Children painted banners with Titan's shape, hanging them from broken buildings. The world was uniting. In deep space, Titan's guns glowed red-hot. More alien ships fell, their wrecks scattering into the void. But the humans knew this was only the opening strike. The true storm was coming. On the command deck, Elena gripped the railing. "Colonel, when their reinforcements arrive, will Titan be enough?" Marcus stared at the stars, his face carved with resolve. Titan is not just a weapon. It is a message. And that message will reach the heart of their empire. Even if we fall, they will know. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity fights. The sensors beeped sharply. A new signal appeared. Far beyond the asteroid belt, space rippled with energy. Dozens, hundreds, then thousands of alien ships began to arrive. The reinforcements had come. Titan stood alone between them and Earth, its massive hull burning like a star. Humanity's fortress, their blade, their hope. The battle for Earth was no longer a defense. It was the beginning of a war that would shake the galaxy. The sky above Earth had never been so full. Alien reinforcements poured into the solar system like a tide of steel and fire. Thousands of warships stretched across the stars, their blue engines glowing like cold suns. Compared to them, Titan looked small, a single fortress standing against an endless army. In every city on Earth, people watched the live feed with silent fear. Children clung to their parents. Soldiers gripped their rifles. Billions waited for the end. On Titan's command deck, Elena whispered, "There are too many. Colonel, there's no way." Marcus did not look away from the screen. His face was hard, but his voice carried strength. "There is always a way. We don't need to destroy them all. We just need to show them what it means to fight us." The alien commander sneered aboard his flagship. Pathetic. One machine against the Empire. End this farce. Burn their fortress. Burn their world. The alien fleets moved as one, a storm of fire closing in on Titan. The first strikes lit the void. Beams of blue fire streaked across the black, smashing into Titan's shields. The fortress shook. Warning lights flashed red across the command deck. But Titan answered back. Its cannons roared, tearing a hole through the center of the enemy formation. Alien ships exploded, their wrecks scattering like broken glass. But for every ship that fell, 10 more closed in. Elena gripped the railing as sparks rained from the ceiling. Shields failing. Hull breaches on Sector 5. Seal them, Marcus ordered. His voice was calm, steady, unshaken. Titan holds. And Titan did hold. Every beam, every missile, every drone struck back. The sky above Earth became a battlefield of fire. Human drones swarmed the alien fleets, darting through their defenses. Fighters launched from Titan's bays, piloted by men and women who knew they would not return, but went anyway. The aliens expected humans to break. Instead, they fought harder with every loss. On Earth, civilians cheered through tears as Titan carved through wave after wave of ships. But Marcus knew the truth. Titan could not last forever. Its guns were overheating. Its shields were cracking. And still the alien fleets came. Then the moment came. The enemy's flagship moved forward, massive and shining, its weapons glowing with death. The alien commander stood tall, his voice echoing through the human channels. Kneel now, or your fortress will be dust. The world went silent. And then Marcus replied, his voice carried to every corner of Earth, every human shelter, every battlefield. Listen well, he said. You came here thinking humanity would kneel. You came here thinking we were weak. You were wrong. You see this fortress? It is not just steel. It is not just weapons. It is all of us. And even if Titan falls, humanity will rise again. Because we do not kneel. Not to you. Not to anyone. The words struck deeper than any weapon. Across Earth, soldiers roared in defiance. Civilians shouted into the night. And in space, Titan moved. But Titan did not charge the fleets. Instead, its engines burned brighter, brighter than ever before. Elena turned, her face pale. Colonel, it's overloading. What are you doing? Marcus's eyes stayed fixed on the alien flagship. We can't win this battle with fire. But we can win it with fear. Titan's core pulsed like a beating heart, gathering energy. Not for another volley, but for something greater. A jump. Target locked, an officer whispered. Marcus gave the order. Take us to their world. The fortress vanished in a blinding flash. Gasps filled Earth as the screens went dark. Titan was gone. For a heartbeat, fear gripped the planet. But then new images appeared. Not of Earth, not of the solar system. Of a different sky, a different sun. Titan had jumped across the stars. And in front of it hung the alien homeworld. The alien commander froze in shock as the transmission reached him. His fortress, his fleets, his empire, all of it was vulnerable now. Titan hovered above his people, its weapons glowing with the fury of Earth itself. Marcus's voice thundered across the alien networks. You wanted us to kneel? Look upon your own world and understand, we do not kneel. You do. Panic spread through the alien fleets. For the first time in their history, they were not the hunters. They were the prey. On Earth, billions erupted in cheers. The message was clear. Humanity had not only defended its world, they had struck at the heart of the enemy. The war was not over. The aliens still had fleets, still had armies. But now, they knew the truth. Humanity was not weak. Humanity would not kneel. And as Titan floated above the alien homeworld, its cannons glowing with the fire of defiance, one thing became certain. The galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again.